Hi, my name is Christine. I work for HPFY and welcome to Ostomy Diets and Summer Barbecues. So having an ostomy certainly means that you don't have to avoid all of the wonderful summer foods. You may need to limit a few things or substitute some items in your recipe, but there's so much that you can indulge in during the summer months. So you've heard the saying, everything in moderation. It really holds true with ostomy diets. So there are some foods that if you absolutely love, but they're on the no-no list, you can take 1 or 2 bites just to satisfy that need to taste the food. But you won't have the bad side effects of it affecting your GI tract poorly. So for me, one of my favorite things is corn on the cob. So I'll take my husband's ear of corn on the cob and I'll take 2 bites and then I'm done. So that will allow me to have that wonderful taste, but not suffer the consequences for it. So for new ostomies, you probably have more of a diet restriction, typically after surgery for the first few weeks due to swelling. Your diet is limited and you're on that low residue diet. So that means you would avoid raw fruits or vegetables. They do need to be well cooked. You're going to avoid bulky meats like steak, pork chops, things like that. Protein, very important for the healing process. So you should have protein with each meal. If you find you're not eating enough, consider having a protein supplement throughout the day, 1 or 2 of them, to make sure you're getting that protein intake for healing. When you are able to resume a regular diet, again, a couple of weeks out from surgery, try foods slowly. So you're going to add 1 thing, keep a diary and write down what you've tried, and then write down also how it affected you. So if it really bothers you, I would avoid fiber for a couple of days to let things settle out and then try something different. And this way you'll find out which foods are good for you and you can tolerate and which ones are on that list that you should not have. So if you have an ileostomy, fluid balance is very important. Loose ileostomy output does flush out some of those electrolytes. The most prominent ones are potassium, sodium, chloride, and magnesium. And these can cause you to have a lot of cramping in the muscles. So it's very important that you drink electrolyte replacements, Gatorade, Powerade, and Pedialyte. They will replace some of those electrolytes. Pedialyte will replace more of them, where Gatorade and Powerade will replace things like sodium and potassium. Very important to maintain hydration. So those with ileostomies, you can dehydrate in a matter of hours. So drinking 10 to 12 glasses, 8-ounce glasses of fluids each day is going to be important. But I do want you to also pay attention to the fact that if it's all water that you're drinking, you're diluting those electrolytes in your system, so you can waste them even more. So make sure you're picking things that will replace. If you like bananas, eat bananas. They're high in potassium. If you're able to eat strawberries or watermelon. Those are high in potassium as well. Beef broth, chicken broth, don't be afraid to add a little bit of salt to your foods. That will help with the sweating when you're out in the hot, humid environment. The other thing you can try is Imodium. So Imodium will slow down that peristalsis. Peristalsis is that wave-like motion that pushes things through your digestive tract, and hence why things travel so quickly through your ileostomy. So it's going to slow that down, allowing you to hold on to that fluid a little bit longer. Once you're able to advance your diet, taking fiber supplements is quite helpful in helping to absorb that fluid and keep you hydrated because you're holding on to it longer as well. We do recommend that you use fiber tablets or fiber crackers as opposed to the powder that you're going to mix in an 8-ounce glass of water. If you're doing the fiber crackers or the tabs, you would just take it with a sip of water, but hold that fluid intake for a good 30 to 40 minutes before you start drinking fluid. That will allow the fiber to absorb the fluid in your digestive tract, as opposed to just adding all that fluid on top of that fiber. So if you have the high ileostomy output, talk to your doctor about adding Questran. It does require a prescription. What the Questran does is bind with digestive enzymes, and it helps to absorb some of that fluid. You do have to remember that taking that medication, you do have to take any other medications about an hour before taking these. They're called bile sequestrants. It's Questran, Colostid, or cholestyramine. Things that don't add fiber that you can take to thicken the stool is anything like rice, pasta, potato in any form, breads, bananas. Bananas will replace the potassium, as I mentioned earlier, applesauce, your cheeses and yogurts and tapioca, creamy peanut butter. It's a good source of protein if you're in that initial post-op recovery, and oatmeal, cream of wheat, or cream of rice. Those are all things that will thicken without adding too much fiber. So with ileostomies, you really do have to be concerned about obstruction. Fibrous, difficult to break down vegetables and fruits can kind of clog that opening and get caught up and not allow things, your stool to come out. So you really want to chew your food well. But those fibrous foods include bean sprouts, bamboo shoots, bok choy, celery, corn, mushrooms, the skin of tomatoes. If you're having any fruit with seeds, fresh pineapple is very fibrous. The skins of fruits, if you're going to eat fruit, consider peeling those skins. Citrus fruits, they have that white pith on them, and that's what can cause obstruction. Coconut is very fibrous as well. Coleslaw, the nature of coleslaw, the cabbage, it's cut more stringy. Stir-fry vegetables, they're very crisp and thick and crunchy and harder to break down. And things such as popcorn, nuts, and dried fruit, and some of those whole grains. So you do have to be careful with those foods as well. If you do show signs of obstruction and not have any stoma output for a couple of hours with an ileostomy, and you're starting to have some abdominal pain, you may want to call your doctor. Usually drinking plenty of fluids will help that pass, but sometimes they do need to just flush it out with a catheter. Now, if you have a colostomy and you're struggling with some constipation, that can happen if you, as a baseline prior to having your ostomy surgery, had constipation. Chances are you're going to be constipated as well. And that would be most typical of a sigmoid colon colostomy. So things that you can do to help avoid the constipation is increase your fluid intake. Consider a stool softener, such as Miralax. That seems to be the most effective one. My surgeons do prefer that. Foods that thin the stool. And you can consider making sure each of these foods are part of your diet with each meal. So things like apple juice or prune juice, raw fruits or vegetables, leafy green vegetables, baked beans. Of course, you do have to worry about other side effects from baked beans, but that will help thin the stool as well. Any type of fried food or spicy food. Alcohol intake will thin. Chocolate, And if you're lactose intolerant, any of the dairy products will help thin things for you as well. Now, I went ahead and put some recipes in the chat room that you can certainly download or print out. I've tried some of them. One of my favorites is the watermelon with feta. But we can substitute certain foods from a lot of these recipes if they're things you cannot have. So tomatoes, the tomato skins, that can be a problem. So you can always substitute with canned stewed tomatoes. If you're something like kebabs, you could use the whole small stewed tomato or cut them into chunks. And if you've got a recipe that you need to add, say, cherry tomatoes to, use the diced stewed tomatoes. That will work just fine as well. Onions. If your recipe calls for chopped onions, make sure they're finely chopped. Or you can cut them larger so they're easier to pick out and avoid eating. And the other option would be to use onion powder. That would allow you to have the flavor, but not have that stringy onion to get caught up in your ostomy. Same thing with peppers, red or green peppers. You can cut them larger. I think about kebabs when I think about peppers in the summer. So a chunk of a green pepper on your kebab. I would cut them into larger pieces, and you can partially cook them, and then you can peel the skins a little bit easier. It's the skin that's going to bother you, not necessarily the pepper itself. Same with fruit, fruit with skins on it. Peel them before you eat them or peel them before you cook them. Pineapple, fresh pineapple, love it, but it is very fibrous. You can try eating or adding canned pineapple. They come diced or in the rings. So that's great for recipes as well. If you've got a recipe that has cucumber, consider using English cucumbers. The skin on the English cucumber is thinner. You can always peel a cucumber, but there's also a lot less seeds, and whatever seeds you will find in an English cucumber are very small. And then nuts, lots of recipes that call for nuts. Make sure that they're finely chopped if your recipe calls for chopped ones, or you can usually omit them from the recipe. So here are a few of the recipes that I found. Some of them I do make. Again, my favorite is the watermelon, feta, and avocado salad. I pick out the onions and the jalapenos in it, but I eat everything else. So try these recipes. Like I said, feel free to download them. You can replace, I wrote right on the recipes what you can substitute with. And I also do want to give credit to the originators of the recipes. I did leave the names on each recipe page so that they're getting credit for that. They did create the recipe, so I just altered them. So in closing, food meets a human need, but it's meant to be enjoyed. So even with limitations, we can find pleasure with our sense of taste. So I'd like to open up for questions if anybody has any. I know this was a very short webinar, but how much can you talk about diet? So we have some selections here for you. And I hope you've had a chance to open them and take a quick look at them. So any questions you can either put in the Q&A section, or you could put in the chat room as well.
And the recipes are in the chat section to download, just so.
Yes. Yeah. So Diane, I do hope you get to enjoy that watermelon salad tonight.
Yeah, I have watermelon, I have the avocado, the red onions, so that'll be dinner tonight.
Beautiful.
Nice summer dinner.
Yes. And I suppose if you need a protein, you could throw a little diced chicken or something like that in there. Or shrimp. I think shrimp would go great.
Shrimp would go good. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I looked at a lot of the recipes briefly, and they look delicious. So I can't wait to try others as well.
Yeah, the tacos on a stick. I really look forward to doing that.
Lenora wants to know if you recommend dry fruit.
No. Well, wait, Lenora, what's your ostomy? Are you a colostomy? because that is, the dried fruit is one of the things that can cause obstruction. So and that's really for an ileostomy. So I think if you have a colostomy, you may be all right to eat a few of them. I would not eat a lot. But dried fruit is on that list that can cause obstruction. So, oh, I see some of the recipes.
Yeah, I just called them up on the screen.
Okay, all right. One I have, the barbecue sweet potatoes. It looks fabulous. And when I make this, which I plan on doing maybe this weekend, it looks awesome. Highly recommend it. But what you do want to do is peel the skin of the sweet potato, so you don't have to deal with the skin part of it. Okay, so are all the recipes attached here then?
They're all in one document.
Oh yeah, beautiful. The Hawaiian burgers look good. I'm going to try that too. It's made with ground pork instead of ground meat or ground beef. And the onion, again, either finely chopped.
This looks good too.
Cucumber salad looks really good too. I have had a cucumber salad with dill, not this particular recipe, but again, use the English cucumbers. I think that's going to be your best bet.
Is rice okay to eat? Marilyn wants to know.
So yes, Marilyn, rice is good. If you're in that early stage of healing, you don't want to eat brown rice, but you can eat white rice. White rice is binding, so I would recommend that certainly for anybody with an ileostomy. It helps to thicken the stool. If you're constipated, too much rice could be a problem because it is binding. So make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids if you have the colostomy.
Has anyone else been able to download? Just click on it and it should open.
Somebody said they could see it, right?
Yes, somebody was able to download it.
Okay, good.
Arnon was able to download it.
Good. All right, Lenora, you do have it. Ostomy. I should remember that, but I didn't. Can we scroll to the next recipe?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was just checking to see if there was anything else I needed to click on it, but sure, absolutely. Grilled peaches.
Oh,
yeah.
Grilled peaches. Yeah. So this, I have not tried this one, but it sounds great. I would peel the skin, of course. And finely chop those pistachios that are in it. Or you can omit them, but I am sure the pistachios add an awesome flavor.
If people are still not able to download it, email me at Diane, DIANE, at HPFY.com. And I will make sure that I email it to you first thing in the morning.
So that will be awesome. And I think when we do the holiday one, last year when I did the holiday webinar for fun foods and things like that, I didn't put any recipes in there. So that'll be a nice one to do for the holidays. Yeah. Yeah. So who doesn't like grilled shrimp, right? So yeah.
I love grilled shrimp.
Yeah, absolutely. And there really isn't anything in that you can't have, right? There's nothing bad.
Do spices affect anything, Christine? Like if something's very spicy or no?
So yeah, so actually, spicy food can thin the stool. So if you have that colostomy, certainly constipation, you can have as much spicy food as you want. But if you have an ileostomy, you might want to limit your spicy food, or you're pairing it with things that will thicken.
Okay.
Like the rice.
Let me see if we have any more
Jambalaya has rice in it, right? And that is spicy. So if that's what you like, that's an awesome thing to do.
So recipes PDF comes on the Q&A, which I printed out. This is from Uni, but the chat is still disabled.
Oh, that's odd. It's coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't see it in mine on the Q&A. I only see it in the chat room. Well, Uni, put your, it will email us tomorrow and we will be happy to forward these recipes to you.
Oh, absolutely. But for anyone having a problem, please email me or Christine or both. We'll definitely make sure we get those recipes out to you.
Have any other suggestions on things they may have tried as far as substituting or in summer recipes
Mhm.
that others, you know, would love to share or others would love to try. So if you've got some awesome.
You can email those recipes to me and I'll be happy to share.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, if there's any other topics that you would like for me to address, certainly put them in the chat room there, or the Q&A, and I'll be happy to consider doing webinars on other topics. Now we do have on YouTube, Diane, we do have the previous webinars are all up and available for you.
They should all be up, and the webinar today should be up probably by Wednesday of next week.
Okay. Okay.
We'd like to get them up as soon as possible. Any other questions or comments? Or I hope you're all having a fun summer.
Oh, yes, I hope so too.
It's going by so fast.
Oh, so is there a list of webinar topics that are available on YouTube?
Well, if you go to our page, you should be able to see all the videos that we put out, and the webinars would be there as well.
On the HPFY website?
No, on the HPFY YouTube page.
Oh, YouTube page.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I usually just if I need to look at something, I'll Google HPFY Christine Ostomy webinar, and you'll get the whole list of webinars that are available.
Okay. Lenore says she's having problems with green salad. It doesn't seem to digest very well.
So yeah, green salad with all that roughage, and again, do you have an ileostomy or a colostomy? So typically you really want to chew well. That might be one of the things though that you have to avoid. So you might do better with, instead of having lettuce, do the salad with your tomatoes, your cucumbers, or whatever else it is you're going to put in your salad, and try different types of lettuce. So iceberg lettuce, very crunchy, very firm, less likely to break down. You can try arugula, or bib lettuce is very soft. Kale, certainly I probably would avoid because kale is very fibrous. But some of those blends of lettuce, romaine, the red and the green romaine, arugula. Yeah, try those. There's also a, I want to say something called buttery. Is there a buttery green lettuce that may break down for you as well?
Marilyn wants to know, does cauliflower present problems?
Cauliflower typically no. If you're eating it raw, again, it's going to be much more fibrous. It can cause odor though. So you might want to just be careful about that. But otherwise, cauliflower should be fine. May cause a little bit of gas as well. Quiet group.
Hopefully they're all downloading the recipes.
Yes. And you know what? Shoot me an email. Let me know what you liked.
Yes, let us know.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't wait to try the tacos on a stick.
Marilyn also wants to know, are people with ostomies able to go on diets?
Weight loss diets? Yes, you can. Absolutely. I'm hoping that's the kind of diet you're talking about. But yeah, absolutely. Again, consider whatever type of diet you're going on. I think about like a keto diet. You have to be careful because most of that is protein, fats, And then there are certain fruits and vegetables that you can have that are lower in carbs. So you just want to look at it before you really take that plunge into investing in a diet. And I will say, as far as exercise and weight loss goes, walking is one of the best things that you can do. It's not going to be straining your stoma because you don't really need to utilize abdominal muscles. So walking, a fast-paced walk if you can, even a slow-paced walk, just get out there and do it. That's going to help as well.
Any more questions? There must be more questions.
We're going to drag them out.
Aw.
Drag them out of you. All right, so I think we've answered lots of questions, and certainly if anybody does come up with questions afterward, my email again is in that chat room, and feel free to give me a shout. And I'm typically on the computer for HPFY Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays in the evening, Eastern Standard Time.
I think we may. Do we have another question?
Oh, yep, I think one.
Marilyn has another. There are no outpatient services in her area, so where should she go?
Outpatient services for ostomy care.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, so what I would do is you can actually go to the Ostomy Awareness Foundation, may have some information for you, or the ostomy.org. That's the United Ostomy Association website. They have lists of ostomy nurses that are registered. So you might not have one really close in town, but there may be some that are willing to do like Zoom chat kind of things or FaceTime to help you. If you have questions, you can always email me. I'm available to offer suggestions and advice for your ostomy or any problems that you might be having. I know that there are a lot of places throughout the country that do not have ostomy nurses available. So it's unfortunate. But those of us who join these public venues to be able to offer advice and help, I'm here for you. So like I said, just shoot me an email and I can make suggestions based on your problems. If you need me to call you, throw your phone number in there. I can certainly call you to discuss things, whatever works for you.
Well, Marilyn says, thank you. Very well presented.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn, for attending.
Yes. And we do appreciate you guys all
We do.
coming and checking it out. And we're here to help you get through this time, you know.
Absolutely. Anyone else?
I see something in the chat room. Oh, Michael said goodbye.
Thanks. Uni said, thanks so much.
You're welcome, Uni. So what do you think, Diane?
Well, it's now or never. Ask us a question. Or, of course, you can email us at any time as well.
Yes. Yes. And Diane, if you get emails with questions, just forward them over to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Christine and I always text, so we're in communication with one another. So. Well, I hope you'll all were able to download them. If not, again, reach out to me. I will send them to you. And if you enjoy all those wonderful recipes.
Yeah, and please send me some feedback. Because like I said, I haven't tried all of these recipes. I've had a few, but yeah, I'd like to know how you made out with it.
Lenora says, thank you. Thank you, Lenora.
You're welcome, Lenora.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes.
Well.
All right, I think wrap, Diane.
Yeah, if everyone's good.
Yep, feel free to reach out.
Please do, anytime.
All right, have a great summer.
All right.
I'm not sure what next month's topic is going to be, but I'll pick something fun and hope to see you next month.
Yeah, we'll see you at the end of August. Stay safe, everyone.
Yes, be well and have a great summer.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.